Well, hey guys, Simplify Fund team here. We got a lot of leather crafters, and I'm very proud and honored to announce we got Luis, who's going to be teaching us this class today. Luis has been one of our virtual leather clinic participants, and the man has got a tremendous talent, tremendous talent. So I'm sitting here with my piece of leather as well. I've been working leather for a while, and I'm excited to be sitting here and listening to this demonstration that Luis is going to share with us. So, if you don't mind, stay muted. If we got questions, throw it in the chat. Um, I'll uh, I'll interrupt. What I don't want is a whole bunch of questions and interruptions throughout the class here. I like Luis to be able to stay on point and go through the process. But if we got a question, put it in the chat, and then when it's a appropriate time, I'll chime in here. So without further ado, Luis, if you don't mind, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
All right. Hey, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here. I know John and I have been planning this a while. And, I just want to say, first of all, thank you to the fund and making it possible for us to learn while this pandemic is around. So I appreciate it. I thank everyone, all the team. So they've been great assisting and making this possible. So as you know, we started this a few months ago, and there's some things that I've worked on. The canteens here, as you can see in the background. But the biggest thing that John wanted to focus on is making sure, we focus on the basics. All right, the basics are very important tool, of course, to learn and master. So that's that. The pattern that we're going to be going is this pattern. You guys probably had that pattern already on your leather. So that was the instructions. If you don't, that's fine, I guess, but we could get started on that. First of all, I was a hospital corpsman with the Marines, just a little bit of introduction. I was stationed up in Pendleton, a good 8 years. I was with 2-1 back in the days, in 99 to 2001. Then I transferred to headquarters battalion during the invasion of Iraq, the first one, and then back to the hospital, and then back to Camp Pendleton again, to the hospitals over there. So just a little bit of my background there. But anyways, most of us got the Tandy. Most of us got the Tandy swivel knife. All right, so I guess I will use that since that's what we're having. I was fortunate enough to meet Chuck Smith. For those who don't know who Chuck Smith is, he's 85 years old, one of the leather craft masters that's been around in the business. So actually, John recommended me to see him. He has the same swivel knife that I recently got for, says he's had it for 30 years and it works well for him. But again, I've been doing everything. I just got this last week, so I really haven't done much with it. But I've been doing everything with a good old Tandy swivel knife. So it works. You got to be patient with it. And that's pretty much it. I was with Chuck Smith yesterday, kind of fine tuning what we need to learn today. He is full of knowledge and expertise. So I guess I'm lucky because he's only about an hour with me here. So I'm glad, it's hard really to learn online and kind of follow. It's always good to have somebody kind of say, hey, okay, maybe do it this way and that way, because as a leather worker, this is our palette right here. This is our open palette, right? Meaning whatever we carve on there is ours. As a beginner, we used to just, hey, let's print something out, copy it. That's a good start. And that's Chuck always said, hey, that's how I got started. I copied somebody's picture and started carving and doing it that way. So henceforth, again, we're gonna go ahead and carve this. All right, give me a second here. All right, again, you guys probably seen the video on how to case the leathers. I'm not sure what, I believe the thickness you guys got was oh, slowly, not too fast. The thickness I'm working on right now is about a 4 and 5. I mean, I do have other thickness of leather that I pre-did last night. It's about a 9, 10. The only difference is if you're working with something thick, you know, it's nice and has a nice give to it. But anything thinner, you know, usually you want to tape it with, you know, blue painter's tape, or that's what I use. So I've used the clear ones before. It worked fine. I mean, this one has a blue painter's tape on it, so that's a lot of stamping there. So that's what I use. If it's thick enough, I don't use anything. All right. So carving. All right. One thing I learned from Chuck yesterday was he did a lot of wallets back in the days. You know, he had to sell them. That's how he made money, and belts. All right. And he said, well, why don't we do a tap off? I'm like, well, I've never done a tap off. I don't know how to do it. So he said, it's easy. It's what you carve, put some nice hardener on top, and then you do it that way. So this is the pattern that you traced on there. All right. I carved it, and I put good old Restylane to harden it. 2 layers, made it hard. Now we're gonna use it as a tap off. So you could keep using this instead of trying to print and keep doing it over and over. So it's the same pattern. So if you cut one that's nice and you like it, you want to repeat it. If somebody saw it and say, hey, I like that pattern, well, you know, save that one, make it hard, make it as a tap off. All right, because I know you guys already has it pre-printed there. So what I'll do is I'll just do a tap off. All right, basic hammer. And take a peek. I missed some corners there. Off you go. So I don't know if you could see it. Let's see. Right? Got good, nice impression there. Right? You can
Yeah,
see,
see that. That's great.
right? Again, that you're repeating something that's already nice and moving on. So if you're doing production, that's a nice thing. All right. Again, carving. You guys probably seen the video that was sent before. Again, basic hold. All right. Put it on the saddle there, about the knuckle, first knuckle. All right. And nice control. One thing that Chuck did tell me is, you know, you do a lot of carving, your hands will hurt. Okay. So a little bit of exercise. All right. Before you get started, right, just press your thumbs. What happens is it stretches your muscles back and forth, because that's usually what hurts. Okay, and just do some basic stretching. Okay, stretching your fingers that way, right, getting it ready, because you know most of us probably got carpal tunnel and we'll have nerve damages. I myself is waiting for a neck surgery, but I'm postponing it, so most of the time we're hurting. And tooling these things does take some time, and your hands will hurt. So he said, hey, I'm 85 years old. I know how it is. You know, a little bit of hand exercises, right? Those things will help in the long run, right? Just like in the military, we always gotta, you know, stretch before we do anything hard. All right. So hopefully everybody did a little bit of stretch, right? And also if you're hurting, stop a little bit and stretch. It doesn't hurt to do that. It just helps. All right. Starting on the pattern, if you're looking at it, all right. The curves are usually the easiest one. Of course, straight line is the easiest, and anything almost a straight line is easy, all right? You could focus on one section at a time. That's the best thing he told me. And then get that done, turn it, and then focus on a different one. So right now we're gonna start with the flower itself. All right. With this flower, there's a couple of high peaks. All right. So what you want to do is kind of think of it as a straight line. All right. So we'll start from there and then curve it down and then turn it. So always drawing that knife towards you. Okay. And making sure that you're not undercutting. Okay. So what they mean by undercutting is having your knife blade undercut by straight and easy. All right. So again, start with that point there. All right. Turn it towards you. And the biggest key is look where you're going. Okay. Don't just look down. And as you could see, that was nice and slow. All right. So here, let me just turn some light off. I'm having some bad lighting for you guys. I think that is a little bit better. Again, start from that peak, drawing towards you, all right, finding out that nice curve, all right, and then turning again towards you and then slowly lifting it up. Okay, again, top there. You know, for those who have done this before, you know, if you want to, I know everybody has different ways of doing things. I'm just doing the basic thing that I learned. All right, so I'm not trying to do anything different than what the masters have been doing before. Again, that the main focus of this class is to learn the basic. Okay. Again, turn it. Okay. Make it easy for you. Okay. And then later on, I mean, Chuck carved this in less than a minute when we were in his place. So take your time. This is your project. You know, you don't want to be rushing it too much. Again, you know, each artist do things differently. You know, that's why we have Rembrandt and Picasso, and their style is different. And same with leatherwork. So the most important thing is following those lines. Again, it's easier for me to see this tap off because it's closer, but the ones you guys probably have are already stenciled in with a stencil. That's how we got this pattern on, I believe, for before you guys start. Okay, so very basic flower, right? Just slow and easy. Okay, and then we could focus on the leaf. All right, the leaf. Chuck said, you know, a leaf is a leaf because you know flowers they're Mother Nature. So we try to make it perfect, and sometimes it's not. And you know, it's how you address these imperfections will help you along the way. All right, I know this kind of have a lot of, you know, peaks and valleys, but again, swivel knife, control it as best as you can. Look where you're going. All right. I mean, if that is your first curve, that's fine. Looks fine. Right. Because I know Chuck, he was doing his speed carving like this. Right. And that's, he's been doing it for more than my life for sure. I'm 45 years old, and he chuckled. He said, I've been doing more stuff than you've been alive. So again, that was the speed of that. And then again, you could do slowly. Okay, lift it up, find that curve, lift it up, find that curve, lift it up. Okay, again, whatever's comfortable for you. Because remember, we have some hand problems for some of us. And again, I'm turning this to make it easy to draw to me. Okay. It's amazing seeing a master carver with his knife do this. I mean, he's like I said, he did this in less than a minute, and it was great to see. And I told him, hey, maybe in another lifetime or a few more years, then we'll get there. But again, he started how we're starting. All right, slow and easy. And that's a nice curve there. There's another curve. Right, and that's just that piece here. Right, just following that curve. Find out that center piece there, and then the leaf stem. Okay. And these are the easy ones now because they're almost as a straight line. So those are the easy ones to kind of get going. All right. When you carve, you know, he said you really don't have to go over that line. It's fine because you're gonna be beveling that area anyway. So as long as you have a nice straight cut there. All right. And then we'll work on that scroll. This is the bottom or the stem of the flower. All right. There's the other stem of that. All right. Okay. The scroll, again, we put that in there because it is a circle. Take everything in halves. All right. Find half of that circle. Go from there. Curve it towards that. Then find the other half of that circle. Okay. And curve it that way. This inside one is just a smaller version of that big one. Again, as you can see, I'm lifting my knife just to follow that. You know, I'm still getting used to carving myself, but you know, Chuck told me it just takes practice. The more you do this, the more you'll get at it. And again, you know, if you like that pattern and you're like, okay, that's one of my nicest carving, put Restylane on it. All right, that's the ones you guys got. Coat it like I did, and that becomes your tap off. Usually you want to have a thicker uh, leather for the tap off, of course, because the thinner ones probably won't last as long as the thicker ones. And again, you could always repeat it. So using the tap off was one of the greatest thing I learned yesterday, which is a nice payoff. All right. The tools that we're working on are the ones that you received during the floor carving. And I got it all laid out here for you, easy. I was able to get other tools, but this is what we're focusing on, basic tools that will get this going. All right. Some of the things that we have here for the flower are undercuts, okay, our center flowers there. I'm still trying to. All right. I guess, does anybody have any questions? Should I open it for question for the cutting portion? Because I'm going to be doing the tooling now.
Guys, any questions? Now's a good
Any
time
questions?
to jump in.
We're good?
Luis, so far so good. Looks great.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. All right. Again, focus one area. Here's the flower. Here's your leaf. Here's your stems. Okay, and your scroll. So again, he likes to start with the big ones here. We're gonna focus on the flower. All right. First thing is if you have your undercut beveler, you probably have this one B60 or anything that looks like. That's blue and blue. That undercuts the leaf. Okay, I know most of us already use these, and what we'll do is when you're tooling, okay, it all depends on how you angle your tool. Okay, again, basic stuff. Okay, so if I angle this tool, the impressions will be different if I angle it steeper that way. So as an artist, you know, there's basic stuff you got to learn. Okay, so usually you want to tip it towards you some more, and that tool, the way it's made, will undercut. So hence the undercut. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and stamp that, and then you got that nice undercut there. Okay. So those are, you're just lifting the pedal up. As you could see, you guys probably watched the videos prior to this. So we're gonna go ahead and carve those sections. All right, let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow. I know we have this place for 2 hours or more, but we're here to learn a little bit. I am not a professional at this time. I'm just learning as much as I can. Right. So undercuts. If you since we already have this tool, I usually want to just use the tool once, and then if I have to pick it up later. The leaf also have those valleys. All right. So we'll go ahead and undercut those valleys. All right. So again, this is a thin piece of leather. It does show nicely on there. Okay, I usually work on this size, about 4 or 5 ounce. Again, I'm not sure if you got the 4 or 5 or the 7/8. I know Tandy sent you guys some stuff, but there you go. So undercut those. So in the beginning, I didn't have the tools collection that I had. So I'm like, well, let me make a tool. So I usually before made tools, just grinding them in my grinder. Okay, and this tool was used for that portion here. And again, just a tool there. I know you guys don't have it. I'm just showing you. Talking to Chuck, he said, Al Stolman used to make his own tools the same as he did. So if you're good with grinding, then that's something that you can use. Okay, but right now the tools that we're using are, steep bevelers. Okay, you guys probably already know all the names of these. If I mispronounce them, I'm sorry. I'm still learning them, but this is a smooth beveler. Okay, edge beveler or for the flower carving there. Okay, it's a number B20203. Okay, that's the smooth one, and this is the checkered one that you guys received. Also, the 801, 802. You guys got the bigger one, 802. Okay, so you got there's a smaller version of this. I don't have a checkered one. Okay, so again, just using, depending on your carving, if it's a nice big space and you want to use the big one, and then of course smaller space portions, use the smaller ones. All right. So for those following the carving, if I'm talking too much, showing you stuff, you can start beveling your stuff. Okay. Or sometimes I get to talking. Okay. So using this tool again is just straight up and down. Okay. Using that edge, just following that. All right. Also, if you're having a hard time getting on the tight spaces, Chuck say, well, just use the tool as a modeling tool. Okay. You don't have to beat yourself too hard in the head and just follow that guide. Again, this is your tools. It's how you use the tool. The tool doesn't know what to do until you tell it what to do. Again, she could see, right? And I'm not even tapping it. Just following it. It's like hand drawing. Again, these are all his shortcuts that he told me. Because sometimes, he gets busy with orders. And like, hey, I don't have time to do too much, but this is how I learn. All right. And then if you want to get deeper impressions on these, then get your mallet. Now you have a nice groove to follow. you got that burnishing effect now after that. Because sometimes you'll do small carvings. I started one. So we got the big carvings. There's a contest online. I'm trying to see if I could put this in. And then they say, well, for 5 years and over, you could do the smaller carvings. So that just takes time. And I used a smaller swivel knife on this. I don't think I tried to do it on this one, but it was a bit harder. So. All right, sorry about that. Again, back on the flower. We started with the undercuts. Now we're just gonna bevel this using this tool. Again, this is the smooth, and you could also use the checkered if you want. Again, that's checkered. You got 802. All right. So it's just a matter of knowing where the background is and where your stems are, right? Because that's a background here. And if you don't know and you forget, well, just mark it. This is your background. That's part of your background. That's part of your background. Part of your background. Okay? And go from there. So make it easy on yourself. Try, because I forget some things. I'm like, oh, was that the background or not? I'm like trying to second guess. Again, I'm not even using my mallet. I want a nice line there. All right. All right. I'm not saying this is just one of the ways to tool. Okay, I'm not saying it's the perfect way for you, but if you learn techniques, then you run with it, just like anything else. All right, so learn techniques now. Curves, usually you want to focus on the heel of that tool, okay, and the way it points, and it will curve around there because these are flat. Okay, so you want to focus on that curve. Again, you could use your mallet same time. Okay, got that burnishing there, and then follow up on this. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and finish tooling the flower for now using this beveler, steep beveler. All right. A lot of people are concerned because they have a lot of amping gaps. You know, that gap. That was one of my issues. So but anyways, we're gonna go over the backgrounder. So I figured I could just kind of help with the background, and I'll show you that after this. Again, if I'm talking too much and you just want to keep stamping, go ahead. I'm not seeing what you guys are doing right now. I just want to finish this flower for you guys, and we can move on because I know a lot of you guys probably tool better than me and want to get onto the painting portion. I do love painting. As you can see in the background, I paint most of my stuff. Just something with paint I like. It hides a lot of my imperfections for carving. You know, it's just, I like it.
Luis, you're doing great. This is
Excuse me, sir?
No, you're doing great. This is a good
Oh,
pace.
thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, John was like, "Word, how long we got? Well, I'll time myself. See what's up." Again, you know, painting covers a lot of your mistakes too, in tooling. So that I guess we are our hardest critic, as you know, and we always find things that are like, oh my God, what's going on? And I messed that piece up. And that was me at first. I was like, oh my God, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't look right. So I grabbed the paintbrush, covered it up, and figured, hey, that helped out. So I'm like, let's do it. There's a lot of videos online on how to tool, and that's how I learn. Like I'm still trying to feel a pattern for me. I know Don Gonzalez is a big YouTube that I watch, and he does have a lot of techniques that I try to copy. But then again, you know, sometimes my hand hurts and what he's doing. Okay, so again, I just following the stems of the flower that is already beveled. Okay, the scroll I believe is next. If anybody has questions, let me know. Okay, I'm going too fast. I was very excited to teach the class. If I missed something, I want to go back and let you guys know.
Hey guys, I'm looking at the chat too. So if you do have a question, you want to throw it in the chat.
Yeah, please. You know, like I said, I don't see what you guys are doing. I might be going too fast. You need me to slow down. You can't see my hands because the way my camera is. Let me know. I guess most of us have been doing tooling.
If you don't mind, just pull your piece up, show the guys what you are got going on so far, what you're working on.
All right, so we got the flower edge, all right, and we lifted up the valleys there, all right, then the leaf, same thing, all right, and then the flower stem here, the leaf stem, the scroll, and the extra leaves. Okay, I did mark with my pencil because, you know, like I said, I color most of my stuff. I don't mind marking it just to remember the backgrounds. Okay, that's background. Okay, the leaf. One thing Chuck always mentioned: if you don't like the pattern, maybe make a subtle change to fit your need. So maybe add another piece on that leaf. You know, I just did another cut parallel to that. And, you know, and maybe it enhances the picture and go from there. I did start using Craft Aid because I'm like, I don't know how to draw. You know, let me just get a Craft Aid. Let me show you. This is a Craft Aid from Tandy. All right. And again, it's the same thing as we did with the tap in. So now I know how to do tap ins, save my money, do my own pattern, and use the same ones if it works out well for me. So that was one of the best things I learned yesterday. And that to me is priceless right now. You know, I didn't know how to do it. Now I know. You did use also shellac. If you have shellac hardens a lot more. Let me get the can if you guys don't know what shellac is. One second. All right, this is another hardener, shellac. He used that on the leather. All right, this is what he improved on our pattern yesterday and put shellac on it and use it as a tap off. 2 coats, good to go. All right. Again, just looking at the pattern right now, as you can see, my leather is getting dry on this side, wetter on that side. You know, could all re-wet it if you think it needs to. All right, just very lightly. I wasn't as much. Right, so I just re-wet it. Kind of also enhances your carving and see where you've missed stuff. All right, so Next step is put details on your flowers and your leaf. All right. So you could use the flower center. This is what you receive on the floor carving. Again, I'm using the same tools that we started off, because basic stuff, and it still works. Find the center of your flower. All right. All right. Good. Nice. All right. You guys probably saw that on the video already. All right. And usually most flowers, the center is deeper than the flower itself. So we want to put some type of depth to it. Okay. I believe you guys got one of these tool. It's a seashell. Great. Somebody help me. I had a brain fart. What do you call it?
You got a shell border there? Is that what
Yeah,
that is?
yeah, shell. Okay. If somebody knows it, just please type it. I forgot it. Yeah, but you could use that. Right. I don't know if you have the same size one, but it usually fits exactly around that center cedar right there. Okay, so
Yeah, it looks great.
and again, what I did there is start from that cedar and just work myself up to the flower petals there. And kind of get that depth, because when you start painting or start antiquing, then you have that nice contrast from the tool. It's where all the antiques are going. Okay. Again, in nature, flowers tend to try to be perfect, just like us. But you are the artist. Picasso did things differently. I mean, I could teach you which way to do it, but if you feel that, hey, it looks better this way, hey, that's your art. So do it that way. But that's just the basic way to kind of have that difference in depth. So it's back. My son does 3D printing as a hobby, so he printed me this holder. I'm lucky. He's actually my camera guy right now. Goes back. All right, next thing we're gonna use is this tool number, it's a pear shader 268. Okay, that's the one with lines, and then the pear shader 267 with the smooth side. So in Sheridan, I know this is kind of like a Western style Sheridan. They have what they call thumbprints. I do have those also that I got. All right, there's a couple of sets of thumbprint sizes and the way they have their design. So either horizontal or parallel. But we are using what we got, and it still works. And I know for the advanced ones there that have those tools, you could use yours, because usually what you want to do is have the right tool to fit that. Right now it's a bit small. Okay, the tool is too small for that. This might be better as far as the sizing wise on that heel. Okay, heel and the toe of that. So you're using that heel of that. Okay, so I'll show you how to adjust your tool on the larger one if you only have this. Okay, so using this tool, you got the heel and the toe. Okay, again, the impression, you don't want to, you want to have subtle impressions of this tool, not a full impression. Okay, again, like the videos that was linked to you, we use the heel first, usually a good 45-degree angle, and mark it that way and tool it. Okay, try and get mine. Again, as you could see, I'm tipping that tool to the right okay, and have that small impressions there, okay. And some people, oh, that might be too small. That's fine. Start off with that small impression, and then level that a couple of angles to the left, and then just walk it, okay. And again, that elongates that pattern and shows that leaf to be depressed, okay. So there's 3 points on the pattern, okay. Some patterns will have 4, some will have 2, okay. Again, follow it towards the center, okay. So wherever the center is, that's where you want to kind of point this toe towards that, okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mark those here, okay, all around. Gonna go ahead and finish that. For the bigger portion, again, I could grab my big thumbprint. I'll show you real quick if you have it. All right, same precision, nice thumbprint there, okay. Or if you don't have it, we're working on what we got, okay. Walk it around that, okay, until you have that impression. Again, still pointing towards the cedar. Okay, hopefully you guys got an idea, okay, what I'm trying to tell you. All right. Why not? As you could see, all right, there's more definitions on this one. Kind of focus on that. Again, you guys probably already know to angle that tool to have a nice contrast. Okay, so that's it. That's what I did. Again, if you don't like it, well, make it deep. The center. Now, Don Gonzalez does his all the way to the sea. So it's up to you, whichever style you like. All right. So have that angled in there and then walk it through. Angle, walk it through, angle, walk it through. Again, repetitive practices. It's all artists. Okay. So we tend to copy the masters, and it works out for you, then that's good. Okay. So walking those through. All right. Next, we got to define the petals, because right now it kind of lost its way. All right. 2 ways to do that. Get your swivel knife, cut it off, and find that petal again. Go over it again. Or these veiners, we call it veiners, what we got on the kit. Find that, again, tip it a little bit, find that corner towards the cedar, and do it all tap. Okay, so the impression is a little bit different than the knife. I kind of like this one better. There's a lot of them, a lot of styles. Again, depending on the size of your flower, you might have a different size of leaf cutter. And yeah, different styles. For the advanced people, they probably have the same stuff I do. All Tandy, of course. You know, we appreciate them for all the help. Start off with these tools. Again, go on the other side, use the other here, part of that piece. Okay. So again, any questions out there?
We'll see if you,
Right.
you guys have anything right now.
You're probably bored, huh?
No, Luis is great. Great instruction so far. So.
All right. Again, we kind of already finished that flower there. Okay. Also on the cedar, if you for some reason it got depressed using that seashell, right? If you don't like the seashell, hey, use that thumbprint. Right? Use what you got, because that's and that's just going where that corner of that cedar. As you could see, there's a nice space there. And that just changes the depth. Right? Now let's go ahead and focus on the leaf. Same thing. Again, you got your peaks. All right, we're gonna use the same one. I'll go ahead and use the smooth one this time. All right. Usually what you want to do is, okay, how is my leaf flowing? Well, looks like it's flowing this way. Right. That gives me a good guide on how to angle my tool. All right. Again, same concept, heel. Okay, that's just the heel there. Follow it. I don't know if some of you guys use pencils to kind of mark where you need to go. Again, I forget sometimes, and it helps me out. If it helps you out, then it's good on you. Right? So same thing there. Yeah. Now we're going to use a decline over there. Again, I already have the mark there, so I'm just going to follow it because that's how it is. I mean, you could go this way, but that way. Right? It's up to you. Again, you're the artist, but I kind of like following the arc myself. Okay. So what I'll do is find the bottom point there, find that arc. And as you could see, I kind of just followed where that arc is going. Okay, other side. And this one is just the opposite side of that leaf stem where I use the veiner. All right. That's about it. This one, as you could see, doesn't has that dead space. Okay, usually you want to eliminate dead space. You just walk that. Okay, nothing fancy, basic stuff. All right, now we're gonna do the stems and the what do you call those? I forgot. Anyways, here I believe we got one of these small cedar. It's just a round cedar there. We'll put one right there at the end of that piece. All right. That looks good there. And it's already beveled. Usually we could do decorative cuts, the scrolls. You could use the veiner again. Again, please correct me if I forget these things. You know, you guys might be on the same boat as me with head injuries, and sometimes I forget. Scrolls, they're kind of tricky on how to position your tool. So hey, get your pencil. Let me put it on there. So does it look good? If it doesn't, I'll change the angle on it. Right? Why make it harder on yourself? And once you stamp this tool, it's kind of hard to unstamp. So you wanna follow that. Mark. It's the guy. How are you on time? Are we good on time?
Luis, yeah, I think we're fine on time. You're doing
Okay,
great.
let me know if I need to slow down or go fast. All right, most of these stems will meet at a nice point. Okay, it looks nice. It's pleasing to the eye, kind of like a bouquet of flowers. All right. So sometimes you want to also separate them because you want to say, okay, this is the leaf part, this is the stem part. Again, this is what we got. This is what we'll use. Okay. Put the edge of that. Mhm, there it is. It ends there. Oh, missed one. There. Okay. So it just enhances your flowers a little bit more. Main focus is when you start antiquing or painting, that kind of stands out more. All right. Again, I'm gonna grab the pear shader. Okay, you got a stem there. I'm gonna use the toe side for that part there. Put that nice hit there, and kind of enhances that also. Okay, here's another portion here. Then biggest thing, hard to learn are decorative cuts, of course. For those, it just enhances the flow of the flower. And again, using your swivel knife. One thing you just want to focus is how the flow is going. All right. So I want to highlight the leaf stem there. I'm just putting the heel, and it functions like a mule's foot. You guys probably have the mule's foot, the same one as I have. It's a great tool. And you can add that bottom here, decorations, or a leaf here. Again, you're the artist, so if it looks good to you, probably look good to others. Okay.
Someone said something in the chat.
Okay, I believe my camera guy said someone said something in chat, so I don't know if that's addressed to me or not.
No, Luis, you're doing good. We just got a
Uh,
comment here.
no worries.
Great. Yeah. I think
Again, yes, sir. Go ahead.
it maybe it might help some of the guys too. Show the tool in the camera first before you hit, or before you strike the leather, so they can see exactly the tool that you're using.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah.
So this is the tool. It's a mule's foot.
Mhm.
It looks like a horseshoe. I don't know. Let's try it. There you go. I don't know if you guys see that.
Yep, that's perfect.
And I found one of the leaf and say, okay, that might look good there. Kind of good flow towards there. All right, and that's where I did it. Does it have to be there? No. This is your work. You could put it there. You don't have to. All right. You can put a line. We'll put a line on the other one. Again, just following that. This is a swivel knife. I just made an inside cut of the shape of that leaf stem.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the base of the flower. Okay. You want to also highlight those. Okay. And you could use the swivel knife as decorative cuts, just following an inside, or use the mule's foot. And again, you're the artist. Like Chuck keeps telling me, you're the artist. So it kind of just highlights that a little bit more. Okay. Again, decorative cuts.
And guys, remember on that mule, right? You just try to use that top tip of that, because you don't want the mule to go outside your lines there. I don't know if that was
Yeah, I don't think I addressed it. Again, you always want the muse foot. There's different style. This is a lot aggressive as far as the point. Right. Let me show you a rounded version. Okay. So big difference. So depending on where you're stamping, if I stamp this rounded one, it pretty much almost covers the whole piece there. So you always want to try and get the tool, tip it. Yes, try and get my hands. Try and tip it in there. Okay. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
thanks for that. I did miss that portion. Appreciate the help. So right now it seems like we're done except for decorative cuts. You guys probably saw the video. Okay, decorative cuts is just how the flow is. So if the leaf is flowing this way, right? So you just wanna, sorry, it's supposed to be a leaf. So depending on the flow, is it flowing like that? Actually, erase that. We'll use this one. We'll use that. Okay. Okay. So this one is flowing to the right, top, left, okay, bottom left. Just the directions of how you want to do your decorative cuts. All right. And the cuts are, if it's going to the left, go ahead and focus down here. Okay. You always want to have a nice strong one and then follow up with a medium and a small one. Okay. Usually to a point. Okay. So kind of like that. So that kind of shows you the flow. Okay. So that's to the left and then of course to the right. Okay. You could do 3, you could do 4, whatever feels good for you. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that here. All right. This one is flowing to the right. Nice strong one. Again, you don't have to be fast, just nice and slow on these. Okay. Try to meet the center there. I just did basic 3. Some of you guys might be fancy. Do the curve like this on one side and curve on the other side. Okay. So as you can see there, I did the curve that side. Actually looking on this side. So, that style of carving there, left and right. All right. So that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still learning. So go from there.
Luis, can you hold your piece up to the camera again? Just hold a little slower. Yeah. You guys see those cuts he's making in that flower now?
This might be more pronounced.
You guys see that those cuts he's making? So you can see his practice piece where he's showing that flow, and then there are those actual on the flower itself. You guys see that? Okay.
That's the flow.
Yeah.
Right, left, right, and then center on both angles.
Yep. And then show him the flower again. Yeah, that's excellent.
Sounds good. All right. Right. Next step. I mean, we're getting to backgrounding. The backgrounding tools. We did send you the one I use a lot. Is this piece? This is 888. Looks like this. Trying to focus on camera. Looks like a pear, but it's flat and it has spikes on it. You should have 2. First one we got, not sure, but it's the same thing. It has that spikes to it. Then some people have the bar grounder. It's like seeds, small seeds. That's on there. So usually you want to do some contrast. I'll use the seeds inside, okay, and then use the spikes on the outside, okay. So anything, what I meant by inside is anything that's enclosed, okay. So if you look at this piece here, anything that's enclosed here, okay. On this one, I use the spike. I don't know if it's too dark. Can't see it, but I'll show you on this piece. All right. Again, just making impression and kind of lift that piece there. On this flower we're doing, there's only one that's enclosed, so that's just there. So using the seed right in there. All right. And I want to make sure you guys got the spike. I believe we included that in the Tandy one, because that's the one I used. John wanted you guys to have what I use. Trying to focus it. I'm sorry, guys.
Gotta like move it away from the.
Can you do a zoom? All right. Can you guys see it now? No? Yes? Maybe? All right. Let me just an impression of it. Looks like.
Yeah, that should be the, is that the 888 stamp?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys.
All right, 888 stamp. I use that throughout the piece, and it enhances the flowers. So what I would do is kind of, again, follow. You know, you got your pointy side and your heel side, right? Your toe and heel. Okay, so that pointy part will kind of just follow the flower. Okay, so this is the flower. Put the heel there, and slowly going towards. Make sure you're getting good. All right, you guys see that?
Yeah, it's a much better angle.
All right. Again, see, I'm following the flower curves. Kind of have that sunshine effect on these. And again, this is why I use this tool. It kind of hides those imperfections of the beveling. Kind of helps me out. And again, we are our worst critic. Sometimes it's okay, but we do what's best for our leather, I guess. Again, see, just following that. Following the flower. And you could use any combinations of the backgrounder. When I started antiquing, I never did anything on the dead space side. And sometimes the leather you get, Tandy leather, we were only getting the rafters in the beginning. I know I was spoiled. I got the oak leaf, but sometimes you don't get the best hide, so you got to be careful on that. So again, follow the flower, kind of have that sunshine effect, and then of course this stem here, just want to follow that too. And of course the leaf. Okay, go ahead and if you're tooling, go ahead and finish your background the way I'm doing it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish mine and then show you another backgrounder after this. Kind of help enhance the tool. Again, I'm working on a 3 ounce or less, and it's working out well. It just, when you're stamping these, be very how hard you punch, because you can, as you can see there, kind of hit it too hard. Okay, the tight spaces there, you might have to, follow one side and then follow the other side and have them meet in the beginning. Anything that's sharp, just use the toe part of that background. Kind of get in there. And then the scroll again, just follow the curve of the scroll. And usually anything that's circle inside, I focus on where it meets and then kind of just go around, follow that curve. So it kind of goes just into one point. So you're just looking at the flow. So if it flows right, it might look right. Doesn't, then you just have to adjust the way we're stamping, just like that. See, I stamped it that way. I kind of don't like it. Let me turn it this way. And maybe let it flow. Okay. Any questions on this tool? All right. So the next tool is also a backgrounder, was sent to you guys. But be wary about your leather, because mine is getting dry. I did case it. It is thinner, but I think I will re-wet it. Mhm. Right now, you could be finished with this project and say, okay, I like it. I want to resist it. I want to color it. And we're good to go. All right. I like working. My main thing, John always asks, what do you want to do? Well, I like tooling. I do a lot of tooling. All right, so I've been tooling, small pieces just to practice. And feathers there. Did a snake, cobra. Flowers for the ladies. This becomes a mini billfold once I finish the inside. Okay. Nice. Punisher, another leaf punisher. There's a set of flowers and roses. And another Sheridan style there. Again, nice billfold.
Yeah, it looks great.
Thank you. All right. One of the tools that you guys received was this one. Okay. Believe, am I right? Can somebody say acknowledge that you guys have that? I wanna,
Everybody got that tool? Just give me a thumbs up if you have it. Okay.
they have it?
Yep, everybody's got it.
All right, cool. And again, that's already a nice background. Okay, you could, I just, depending on your leather, I guess you could get away with saying, hey, I like the tooling, but my leather doesn't work too well. Well, guess what? Just hide it. Right now, my leathers to me is a little bit too wet. So I'm gonna wait just a little bit, okay? Because I don't like that impression. As you can see, it's not as deep as this one, okay? Because this was cased, so I'm gonna wait a little bit for it to soak in, okay? While we're doing that, kind of brag a little bit. This is my first canteen from the canteen project. Stamped Fire and Ice. Okay, Fire and Ice Dragon. Okay. And then had some basic stamps and then the background. So that background, the reason why I want to show you this, that background is this, okay? Right? So it enhances your leather because the leather, like I said, I kind of don't like the plain because it would have just been a plain antique side. I'm like, okay, let's enhance it because it is a dragon, kind of make it rough a little bit. And I like that. I figured you guys would love it. Again, I'm still waiting. Just sorry, I overwet it. Okay, here's, I know I showed somebody this earlier. Somebody, my son-in-law wanted a canteen, but he likes animes. Okay, so I did the anime here. All right. It's my first anime ever, so I've never done portraits, but like I said, we just copying the picture. So I just copied the picture, took my time, okay, because I figured I don't want to rush it because it was a lot of painstaking trying to figure out how, you know, to carve the difference in that and kind of make it pop out. So this picture, it's hard sometimes. So you just gotta make that decision. Okay, so it's drying out a little bit. Again, for those who's waiting, maybe do some hand stretches, please. Because sometimes we get too excited or we're almost at the finish, and when we have hand cramps and tooling, it just gets to you and you. I like to tool, so I'm having, you know, hand issues already, kind of, you know, aggravates me because I want to keep doing it. And good thing, you know, you get lessons telling you to stretch, you know, make it easy on yourself. It's not
We got any
gonna
questions?
be. Yes, sir. All right. So I think we might be good. Did somebody have a question?
I was just checking before we moved on. Anybody got any questions so far before we move on here? No? Okay. All right, Luis, we're good.
All right. Again, if you want to stay here and you don't want to do any more tooling and you like it, hey, you know, you could always stamp somebody's name here. Good to go. It is a good project. No, it's just another backgrounder, just like this. We're just gonna have that nice uh, difference in background. Okay. I'm just finding a nice spot. I mean, you could turn this just to make a different contrast. Okay. Especially good. You can see I'm turning it. All right. Hopefully you guys see that. You know, I should have you guys get the big one because after I was doing this, I'm like, let me ask John for the bigger one. Got me the bigger one. It's from Tandy also. Because I was like doing so much of it. I'm like, again, look at the difference. Do the big one, all right? But we're in this together. We'll do the small one. Right? You could follow the contour of your carving. You can see also, I'm kind of using my pinkies and ring finger, kind of move that leather. You're just backgrounding, you know, just making sure that it's nice. All right, so once you have that all around, kind of look to where you probably missed some stuff. And then off you go to dead space. Dead space are no fun to me. just stamp it away. Is there a specific way I do it? No, it's just a background. Go straight up and down, circle, wherever pleases your hand. Again, if your hand's getting stiff, because like I said, it hurts sometimes. If you're hurting right now, go and relax, stretch your hands. That's probably cursing me by now. All this backgrounding. Right. Like we're I'm halfway through. I don't know if someone's already finished. If you are, go ahead and start stretching your hands. So I'm getting cramps. It's just the corpsman in me. Sure, my Marines are okay. Does anyone need more time, or are they?
Now, Luis, I think this ends here in 45 minutes. So
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, we're on time. We're good.
yeah, I was going to say, I think we're doing good on time.
Oh, yeah.
We need more time to show us the painting here. And then what I'd like to do is if you can recap, show the tool, like for example, like the lifter tool where you hit it, just kind of do a quick recap for some of the guys on the tools we used. And then
Yep.
we'll leave a few minutes for questions.
And again, I'm always home. Feel free to message me, call me for anyone that has more questions. If you guys want to do Zoom, the other working together, hey, beats me being in this garage all by myself. So almost there. All right, guys. Lots of stamping. Zoom a little bit. Good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and recap some of the tools, kind of show you where we use them at. All right. The first one we used was the lifter. Okay. Usually, goes right there at the valleys of the flower petals. All right. For some reason, sometimes when you're beveling, they do close up. You could reuse it when you're done and kind of lift it up. Okay. See the big difference. Okay. Okay, because when we do the beveling, steep bevelers, they do close up. So you want to re-enhance it by using it again, and then just open those valleys up. And also where the lead. Right. Again, there's some beveling and you're kind of didn't like the way it curved on you and you wanted a nicer, finer edge. Just go back with your swivel knife and go back over it. All right. Again, that's just up to you. Okay. Again, I just went. As you can see there, my finger is kind of just enhance the sharpness of those. And again, with these, you can also go over, right, and just enhance the sharpness of that. All right. Hopefully you guys saw that. Just enhancing the edges. And, okay. All right. After the pedal lifter, we did the spare shader. Okay, we call this the pair shader on your tool list. And that's what we use to make these indentations. Just for the leaf and the pedal. And just a recap. Using it on an angle. Right? Same thing with that. And again, nice, good angle. You want that indentation. And then you could, it's hard to learn to walk your tool. And that was my hardest thing. Like, oh man, it's not going straight. Well, I usually now just have that nice mark. Okay, and then I just start off on that and kind of turn my tool towards the center and slowly tap it. Kind of walk the tool that way. Okay, so again, just techniques for you to practice with. Later on, you'll be like, be a master and you just moving it up. Okay, and having a different shading style. Okay, so that's that tool for the petals. Okay, we did use the cedar. Okay, that's the center mark there. For the seeds, of course, cedar. Okay, the seashell to go up petals. Okay, mark that. The veiner, okay, was a good enhancing tool for the corners. I don't know if you guys remember that. Okay. And also for the stems. Okay. and also the leaf. I'm sorry. Mhm. Next, we did the mule's foot. Again, that's like a horseshoe looking tool. And I said, okay, let me put one here. Okay. And again, the way you want to use this is use the tip and then walk it. Okay. So what you can do is have a nice, good pressure. Okay. There's a big piece there. And then kind of gradually put it to a point, just like that. So like an arrow. And that, helps with the flow of your flowers. Okay. And again, sorry, the leaf veiner on the scroll. And the way we did this, I don't know if you guys remember, just focus on that. Okay. Is I marked it so it was easier for you to kind of angle your tool, and marked it with a pencil and then just follow that mark. Because sometimes I get frustrated, like, oh, this way, that way. So I'm like, okay, make it easy. Mark it, good to go. All right. Next, I believe was that seed. Okay. Just a nice seed. Helps. It's a nice dot. You could also use this as a seeder. So for some reason you have a leaf center that's only half, right? And then you can use this as a seeder. Or a full seeder, just like one there. All right. Any questions? I think that's most of the tools that we use. I know you guys got some others, but again, I like this tool a lot. As the background, there's spikes. And that's what we use inside here, following the curvature of the flower, the leaves, the stems, scrolls. Okay, and that's what you got there. And then the other background, which was this piece. Okay. One second. So, all right, this was actually the first tooling and painting that I showed John. Yeah. Again, I never knew how to do any of these, only online. And I used those background or the circle ones, the seeds. So it's up to you if you want to use the seeds or not. Seeds.
Luis, what is that thing that you made there?
Oh, this is a wine rack.
Very cool.
Yeah. So it was a kit from Tandy. I was getting bored because the virtual clinic was taking so long. He said, hey, can I do another project? You go, yeah, what do you want to do? Well, can I do a wine rack? Because I'm in the wine country and do something. So first one there. And this was an Angelus paint. It was one of those acrylic paints my kids had. And it's been there for 6 months, but I think it held up. And again, we're gonna go over how the colors are next. So if you guys are ready, can we take a 2-minute break?
Yeah.
I'll get a drink.
Yeah.
And go from there. I'll set up the painting portion. Again, if you're still behind, just finish up your backgrounding. You need to do. If you're done, just stretch out, I guess, 2 minutes.
Yeah,
And then-
let's come back at 12:30. That's 3 minutes from now. So let's just come back at 12:30 here.
All right, just need some water.
All right. Thanks, guys.
We will be on this side now. Swing around that. Those are around. Guess they're on a break. I'll show them later. I know most of us got a color kit. I think they are the basic colors, I believe. Go over that. Oops. So here.
Get the all stuff around it.
Here's my new colors. All right, are we almost there?
All right. Looks like we got everybody back here.
All right, I did forget, if your piece is moving a lot and you want something to hold it down, Harbor Freight, the magnets, $2, $3. I put some scrap. I had some horse leather, crazy horse thing I got from John. And it's a nice weight to kind of hold it down while you're tooling so it doesn't move too much on you. Okay, and a couple of those. Just another quick tip. All right, the things that you received is the antique saddle tan, I believe. A set of the leather dies, all right, and the basic set of the coloring, and also the thinner. Okay, thinner helps with that. This bottle goes a long way. Trust me, it goes a long way. It's purple right here. And I use probably only use a quarter of that bottle, and I believe this is a 1 ounce of that paint. So I like it. I like paint. Most of us should have a either a palette or a plate I'll use this. If not, if you don't have any, just use a plate. I swear I just had it. Okay. For colors, again, the basic colors, leaves are usually green, stems are usually brown, like flowers, any flowers, red, blue, whatever you want, but mixing base colors, right? Blue, blue, red, white. All right, well, go ahead and pull out your white, your black, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and do green, okay? I believe you guys have the blue. I don't think you guys have an actual green. That's fine because most leaves change in colors anyways. Usually just mix these two, right? The thing I hate about this one, it does, clump up on the side if you don't clean it. I think I was using this somewhere, but just try and be tidy with it. Again, don't use too much. This is dirty. Basic mixing colors, right? We learned back then. As you could see, oh, that's all right. I just used a little bit. Mix green. We're mixing green right now. Blue and yellow. Blue and yellow. A drop of each goes a long way. All right. My table does have some protective covering, some old cardboard or anything, boxes. If you don't have any, please cover your desk with tissue paper, all right? Or scraps, whatever works for you. This is not too big. Go from there. And your brushes are probably the white ones that you guys received, all right? Small, medium, large, okay? For the insides, usually you want to find a nice smaller brush, go around that to the edges, okay? So the way I usually paint is I paint around the actual project first, just to kind of help protect it, and then go from there, okay? So we'll go ahead and mix some green. This is your project. If you don't like green, you want orange leaves, that's up to you, but we're doing green. Too thin, okay, is the thinner for the Angelus. I used to use water, which you can, but I just stick with that. That's what we got. Okay, so this green is a little bit too blue. It'll need more yellow. Are you gonna be exact all the time? Probably not. Again, this is your project. As you can see, that lightened up a little bit. All right. The consistency is water color like. As you can see, it's running out. You can see the side there, right? Can it be thinner? Yes. Do I put it on thick? No. Why? Because I like to do different shades. So once I got the nice green there, well, I want to do a nice shade of dark green. So I'll find another spot here for my shades. Okay, and what's going to happen is I'm going to put a little bit of black on that one. And then for my highlight, I'm going to put it here. Put a little bit of highlight on that side. All right. So you can see, like I said, it's water. It's hard for me to judge your consistency there, but you could see it runs like a watercolor, okay? So if you have any questions on that, let me know, but that's how my consistency is, all right? Got my paint brushes there.
Guys, you guys got any questions? I'm not much of I don't usually paint my leather at all. I'm usually just an oil guy, but this is something that we can all, I know I'm learning a lot from this part right here. So this is great. So if you guys have any questions, please jump in.
So one thing you got to be careful, is when you're working with paint, you will have paint in your hands. So guess what? If you don't want that paint in your leather, then you need to change gloves. Okay. I got my box of gloves right beside me all the time. So be wary about that, please. Because not one thing you don't want is a black where you don't need to have the black, the green where you don't need to have the green. So again, I grab another for the paintbrushes. I mean, I go to the 99-cent store. I do a lot of mixing. These different type of brushes, nothing biggie. Michael's got a lot of specials. All right, again, one dark, one light. That one has one of these. You can see I just put a couple of drops there on the side, and then I'll draw that green in, and then let's see if the black has this. Not lucky. For the black, the tint is stronger, so usually you just want to grab a little bit, put it on there. You can see it darkens that portion. If it's still too light for you, then put some more on there. If you don't want to mess up your colors, all right, I usually grab Q-tips, use it as a dauber in there. It's hard to control the pouring of this, as you can see. Just letting I'm just letting it drip on there a little bit. Okay. And again, it's all up to you on how dark you want it, how light you want it. This is my light side here. And the same concept is the same for color, other colors. So if you want a base red, dark red, and a light red, okay? So all the same. Also be wary about your colors so you don't spill them, close them up. All right. Have they spilled on me before? Yes. Will it spill again? Probably. 3 different brushes. I'm not sure how many brushes you guys got on the kit, but that's how I usually do it. Base, dark, light. Base, dark, light. Okay, so looking at the paint here, right? There's your leaf. I usually just do where there's a bigger dead space, kind of figure out that is my base color there, because that's usually where it stands out. Okay, dead space there. See? Right, and then I grab my light portion and do the edges, because usually that's where the light portion shines, in the edges. Okay, different contrast, right? And then of course, the middle section or the stem side, usually the darker portion or the depthness or fades away. Right? As you can see, I left some space there. Why? Because I just want to blend it. Okay.
So Luis, you're not waiting till anything dries. You're going dark. You're just using the contrast of what you pre-mixed.
Correct. So I forgot to tell you, put some water on one corner there. All right. Use your light brush, because usually that helps a lot here. Okay. So again, dark where it needs to be dark, where it's deep, right? And then neutral or normal color, and then the light at the end. Okay, as you can see, I left a space there because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna thin down that light and kind of like watercoloring, grab some of that contrast. And then when you dye it, it doesn't, it does change in color. Okay, so as you can see, it's too brown still. Well, let me get some of my neutral. And again, you're the artist, nothing 100% here, right? Just go over that and go over your piece. And you're probably saying, oh my God, that's too much steps. Well, that's, I like pain, I guess, but this helps me out relax, helps me out think clearly sometimes, you know, my mind workout. And again, that it's fine. You'll have those brown spaces there. I don't know if you guys could see that just closer, right? Some lighter sections there. So you could see in the middle it's darker. Okay, if you want it darker, line that there, darker. All right. So any seed enhancements or any other enhancements that you have, maybe that seed, you're like, I don't want, I wanna highlight that, right? Just highlight it. A different color, right? Yellow seed there. Okay. Apologize, you guys probably don't have as much brushes as I do. If you guys do have Q-tips, right? Because in the beginning, I didn't have brushes. Well, Q-tips. That is a paintbrush. And again, that's the leaf there. All right. So next, we'll decide on the color of the flower. All right. I bought these in Michael's, $2. You could use these if you want, but just have a couple of them handy. So you'll have your base, your dark, light, base, dark, light. And I'll probably do that here on this one. So for those people don't have the palette I have. It's yellow. Yeah, that's my main base there. I have some darks. Again, you could I don't know what colors you guys are doing. You could follow me or do your own colors. Okay. So what's gonna happen? I'm gonna grab some of that there. Okay, that becomes my dark portion. All right. If you're running out of paintbrush, again, you have Q-tips, please grab them. Or do it the old-fashioned way and wash them with water. Just clean it out with water. And start all over. So if you have 3 nice, small size brush, you change colors that way, you'll be all right. Trying to get some lights. You can see, grab me some white. You guys notice there's not a lot of paint on there, all right? Grab me some water, just watering. Okay, kind of mix that. Okay, you could also use the too thin. I'm just making an example for water. Dark, neutral, light. Well, the light, like I said, goes on the outside. I mean, do you have to be at the edge? Later. Those are fine tuning your colors. Did I skip some there? Yeah, that's fine. It's light contrast. All right. Be my neutral. Neutral meaning the base color that you're starting from, which is on this point is the red one. Man, again, you know, it's not perfect science that I do because there's some spaces that I don't cover. And I'll show you why later here in a minute. And a darker portion of that. And seeds, I started with a yellow there. I'll probably put yellow seeds all around it. All right, here's my yellow. Straight off the bottom. And guess you're getting it. I mean, you want to, if it's too much, if it's too heavy, just wipe some off. Just wipe some off. Grab some water and just spread it around. See the difference that happened there? Earlier, it was about to cover the seed. Now it's kind of have that nice, you know, impressions now that you can see. All right. Questions so far? All right, moving on. Again, the edges now. As you can see, I'm kind of rushing this. Usually I'll take my time. Now it's the edges. So just follow, just like the silver cuts. This is the light portion. That's in here. All right, light portion. Maybe you want to grab some of that white. Again, you're like, okay, like that. Different contrast, different colors. Okay. It's all up to you. You know, like I said, the artist. So from there. Now, wherever this, you know, difference in the petals, grab the darker side to highlight that this is deeper than that other one. This side is deeper than the other one, right? This side is deeper than the other one. I mean, it might be hard to see it on the phone, but up close, you really notice. Right?
Yeah, that's excellent. You can see the,
Yeah, so again, you know, you got three base, dark, and light. That's basic painting to my knowledge. I'm not a painter, but just the way eyes focus on things. Right. And again, you know, water-based type color, because what's gonna happen is we're gonna treat it with Restylane. When you antique it, that saddle brown or whatever you're using is also a pigment, kind of darkens that part or lighten it up a little bit. So as you could see, it's not perfect, but you'll see why. I mean, you could use that later on. On these stamps, same process, okay? But right now I wanna focus on the Restylane and how it does a resist. You guys already know how it is, but we'll do it on that one to kind of just save on time. So again, this right here is an example of the Restylane. The black is the Angelus paint, and this is all antiquing. I didn't do any painting because I guess I got lazy that day, but when I did the antiquing, the whole thing was antique and got into all the grooves that we stamped. Okay. Sometimes I get lazy and don't wait for it to dry. You'll have those type of things. But to me, you know, it looks like, hey, it's a flower. It's not supposed to be really perfect. Right? As you can see, it works out. Right? All right. So any questions on painting? I mean, painting is straightforward. Nothing magical to it. Base color, dark light. Base color, dark light. Change color, base color, light. Right? Just the consistency is what I wanted to focus on, you guys. Is like I said, this is watercolor. And as you could see when it's applied on there, that's thin watercolor style. Okay. All right, moving on to Restylane. Let me put these away. If you guys have paint,
Any questions out there?
any painting questions, it's quick and easy. Like I said, there's really nothing magical about painting. It's just knowing the dark, the light, and the neutral. All right, sounds like your questions.
No, that's great explanation. Good job, Luis, on that one.
All right, thank you. All right. So here's, like I said, I started off with this one, right? You got your neutral, and then if you want to highlight the veins, you know, I said, okay, let's put white on there. There's the brown with some highlight there, another white highlight there, okay? But as you could see, this was different a little bit. This was darker, and then there's light. That's dark, neutral, light, dark, neutral, light, and then a white highlight, right? Dark, neutral, light. So same concept. In the background was a darker green than that dark, but that's not a neutral green. So it's up to you. That could have been a nice neutral green. I like that kind of subtleness because as you could see here, it changes. Now that's a neutral green, a light, and a dark. Okay, so, and again, these are the spaces I was telling you guys about. Okay, when I do the painting, right? There's some darkness there. It kind of gives it a little bit more of a pop that, hey, let's forward more. Right. Restylane. It's a resist acrylic. Usually use it to go over all my colors. I do have a thicker or bigger brush there. All right. Right now, it's still wet. I usually just have my dryer. Might work if I plug it. All right. Yeah, this is a heat gun. It goes real hot. I mean, you guys have a dryer. The dryer is better for control wise. So this one, I kind of like be very careful. I did burn some of my paintings. I'm like, oh my God, I spent 6 hours doing this and I melted the leather. So I do the back part then. Again, I want to stress, I'm not at those edges, okay? So you can see that, see? I'm not, you can have a nice crisp edge. That's good. But this example, I'm not there. So again, Restylane straight off the box, off the can there. One thing with this is you do want to make sure they don't bubble up on top because they will dry like that. And I learned the hard way. And I had to redo the whole thing because I couldn't get it off after that. One thing you want to make sure is I am using it off the from the cap here. I've had where I didn't dry it and then the Restylane changed color. So you got to catch yourself because if you pour it back in your bottle, you're screwed. Okay, you're gonna have whatever color you had on your brush back in your main bottle. So you could, again, 99-cent store, they have these Michaels, okay? There's some pulling going on down there. You just want to wipe those off. You don't want it drying. And you guys probably used Restylane before, or Super Sheen, or some type of resist. So I just dab it out of there. Then you want to hit this up with your dryer if you're impatient, or wait overnight, put another coat. I like tooling. I hate waiting and all that stuff. So I usually just air dry it and move on and paint and finish up the project. But again, be wary about your bottles because you don't want any spillage. And off you go drying this out. Can I get a time check, please?
Yeah, there'll be some.
59 Central.
We're just about done anyway, so we'll finish up. It's 1 o'clock, so
All right. All we're gonna do is put antique on this and we're done.
yeah, exactly. So you're good on time. Yeah, so
Okay. I know I didn't go over the dye. You guys did get a dye, and you could apply that. It's straightforward. What I usually do is, okay, I wanted to tell you about that while this is drying. Is what I found out is if you have dye, and this is the same dye you guys. Oh, that's the stain. No, I grabbed the wrong one. It is a water-based dye. Here's a red one. Ooh, that's not open. Okay, it's already water-based. I also put a little bit of water in it. Just thin it out. I like it thin. So again, there's no magical number that I do. I kind of just eyeball it, see how it is. And what I do next, weird, so I put a little bit of Restylane, and it helps, to me, helps with the bleeding. And I'm talking about a little bit, like drops. You guys could get droplets like this. My daughter was doing chemistry and said, "Hey, can you use this?" Oh yeah, I can use that. Okay, so well, there's the dye on my table. And then we did painting. Well, we could do dyeing on there. And again, this is a thick brush. Sorry about that. Nothing magical. And to me, in the long run, does help with the bleeding. With this, I know a lot of people use the Pro Dye. They swear by it. I haven't used that product, and if I do, then I'll stop doing what I'm doing. But this is what I do. Okay, darker here. The more I put this, the more darker it gets. Okay, and then the lighter outside. Okay, and that's how I used to dye with before the Angelus. But I do a combination if I have to do this and the outside. So I've done that multiple times. Okay, so that's the dyeing portion of that. When it's dry, I put Restylane on it to seal it. Wait for that to dry, then I antique it. But like I said, I do put some on my die, and I found it to work for me. If it works for you, good on, right? If not, then let me know. But I do want to try that pro die later on. All right. Last step. I know everyone's probably tired of my voice.
No, you're doing great, sir.
Antique. How many antiques you guys have? I don't know, but one we sent you was the gel antique saddle tag. Straight off the bottle. Right on there. Some people oil before they antique. I've done that before, but up to you, okay? Probably put some more, yes, probably put some more. So you can see already, just over the flower. See all those spaces that are lighter and I missed? See how the contrast, to me, makes that flower look different than most flowers. And be careful with antiquing, of course, because it will get in the back if you're not careful. Well, most of the time it will, like 99% of the time. It will get back there. Okay. And then wipe it off. Ta-da. Our flower. Wait for it to dry. Put Restylane on it. Wait for that to dry. Put another Restylane on it, and you are good to go. Any questions on antiquing, coloring, and painting?
Guys, it's open. Get any questions? That'll be a good time to ask.
Again, like I said, I love the background. Kind of helps it a little bit more. I hate the dead space. You got dead space on that side, and I don't know. It's just me. Like I said, I'm still new at this. I just like it that way, and go from there.
Well, the best part is it's a piece of art, so you can make it the way you like it, right? So
Right.
I think that's excellent, though. What a great job, Luis, on that one.
Oh, I appreciate it. Okay. Make sure you clean up. I got dyed. I just hate spills like everybody else. Okay. All right. Well, I'm pretty much done.
Well, guys, if there's no questions, we'll end here. Any saved rounds? Last questions for anybody? No.
Luis, great job, buddy.
Oh, thank you, sir. But hopefully you guys enjoy the tooling and the way I paint.
great
like I
job,
said,
man. Thank you.
paintballing. Yeah, appreciate that. So that's about it.
Yeah. Well, hey, Luis, thanks for taking the time to do this class. I thought it was very, very helpful. And
Oh, I appreciate that. And like I
very-
said, John wanted to just do something basic. I think this helps. Like I said, I'm always here at home. Call me, text me. I'm on Facebook. Hey, pick my mind, because right now I'm lucky. Like John said, I'm working with Chuck Smith. He's an 85-year-old mastersmith. He knew Al Stolman, Don King, Barry King's father. They make tools together back in the days. He actually sold all of his tool templates to Barry King because he was getting of age. So all the Barry King tools that are being sold now are pretty much mostly his designs. He actually took two of my tools and regrounded some. He's like, "This is wrong. Let me get that." He was mad.
Yeah.
All right. So appreciate you guys being here, and hopefully we'll get somebody else to teach.
That sounds great. Hey, Luis, thanks so much. What a great class.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.